Bring in Republican Senator from Nebraska, Ben Sasse, who sits on the Judiciary Committee, made it through day one today. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.
So these calls for him to recuse, I mean, of course, we knew the Mueller investigation was going to be in the spotlight, but do you think he should?
I think his answers were good. I mean, he explained there'd be circumstances where one might recuse. He wants to seek the counsel of career ethics officials at the department, but then he would make the judgment based on the rules and the regulations. I think it was a good answer.
So there were a lot of pushes today about how much of the Mueller investigation he would try to get public. Here's what he said about what he'll do on that front.
I am going to try to get the information out there consistent with these regulations, and to the extent I have discretion, I will exercise that discretion to do that.
But again and again, there were Democrats who pressed him to give out everything that he could, short of classified information. What role do you think that he'll play in making sure the American public gets the information about the Mueller investigation?
Well, I mean, that answer is one of many you saw today that looks like a guy who doesn't need a job, is pretty confident in how he wants to serve his country, but isn't desperate to do it. He's a serious man who's held the job before. And I think what he was explaining there is that it's in the public interest to, at the end of this investigation, make as much information as possible available. But he wasn't going to pre-commit to what that looks like because he hasn't seen the classified information that's in the Mueller investigation. And when he sees it, he'll make the judgment based on the rules and regulations. And he has honor and integrity, and I think he was pretty compelling and persuasive to almost everybody watching.
Well, and I think he was to a number of the Democrats. I mean, at one point, Senator Dianne Feinstein repeatedly said, I'm happy about that answer. I'm pleased you're answering that way. I'm so happy to hear you're answering that way. But you don't think in the end she or any of the Democrats on the committee are going to vote for him, though they keep saying that they're happy with his answers and admit he's a qualified person.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of times where Dianne Feinstein and I agree on stuff. Today she went out to the cameras and said this guy's on a smooth path toward confirmation. I think the Democrats know that's true because he's a serious adult and Americans should be confident in him in that office. He's been unanimously confirmed 3 times in the past. He hasn't changed. The political process and the Democratic incentives have changed. And so I'm sad that I think he's not going to get many Democrat votes, but he certainly should.
Well, the man who nominated him is probably behind most of that. Okay, so let me ask you this. There was such a concentration on the Mueller investigation, and you've got to be independent from the president. He says he didn't promise me anything. I made no commitments to him directly or indirectly. They want to make sure, the Democrats, that he's going to go after the president or at least support Mueller and his investigation of the president. But it was interesting to me today, too, that he said, I'm going to look at some things that happened within the FBI. You saw where Catherine was reporting today about, he said he was shocked over the Lisa Page Pater Strzok text. And he promised to look into some things that went on with the FBI, whether there was bias or wrongdoing there. That may not be an investigation the Democrats want, but they may get it.
Right. He said he was shocked because the material is shocking, and he was coming to it as an honest guy. When we use the phrase, the Mueller investigation of the president, I really like us to try to get the language of the Mueller investigation of what Russia tried to do to the U.S., because that is where we need to get in the future. Putin is our enemy, and Putin's going to be coming back in 2020 and beyond. And at the end of the Mueller investigation, what you want it to include for the American people is a reset where we together understand why we're opposed to Russian interference in American life. And I think Mueller said he wasn't going to pre-commit to the president on anything about this. He was going to be an independent attorney general. And he also wasn't going to pre-commit to the Democrats about what he would and wouldn't investigate and some stuff that needs to be cleaned up at the Bureau.
I know you hit with him today on Russia, China, trafficking, all kinds of things. Day 2 tomorrow. We'll be tuned in. Thank you in the meantime for stopping by tonight.
Good to be here.
Good to see you.